There's only one thing standing between public high school students and their extracurricular activities.
Early last semester, every school in Ontario was hit with Bill 115, or the Putting Students First Act. This caused turmoil in all schools as students were shocked when hearing what impact this bill would have on them. Before going into further detail and discussing its impact on Orchard Park Secondary School, it's essential that we get a brief understanding of what this bill was really about. To put it briefly, Bill 115 is the reason all extracurricular activities were cancelled in all Ontario schools. The bill was initially passed by the government to save money and get the province of Ontario out of deficit. However, the way they planned to do it impacted back on the kids. The bill said that all teachers are subjected to a 2 years pay freeze, which basically means there would be no increase in their salary between the year 2012 and 2014. Not only that, but it also took away some of their fundamental rights, such as the right to protest and collective bargaining. And now the only way the teachers were able to protest is by withdrawing from all extracurricular activities. Here are some of examples of activities that were cancelled at Orchard Park Secondary School.
Just let it slip. Yo. His palms are sweaty. One shot. Has a chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. No more games. I'ma change what you call rage. Tear this roof off like two dogs' cage. I was playing like you did. Come on, so what you want? Protect you from all of the obscene.
So, without any further ado, in this documentary, we got our chance to sit down with some of the Orchard Park staff and students to get their opinion on the subject as a whole. With Mr. McDonough, who's been a math and phys ed teacher since 1987 here at Orchard Park High School. And what sports were you a part of this year?
Grade 9 soccer, grade 9 basketball, and junior basketball.
What was your initial reaction when the bill was put in place in the beginning of the year?
Well, the bill was, when the bill was put in place, I was disappointed because of the process in which it was administered.
Did it make your job easier or harder? Like, for instance, did it take away the fun in your job because you were a coach after school, because you loved sports?
Yes, it certainly changed the nature of the school, the climate of the school, and in not a positive way.
Did you feel any sympathy towards students who were coming back just for sports for an extra year, and some students were in their last year and trying to make something of themselves through sports?
Oh, I felt bad for all the kids, equally, quite honestly.
What in all the years you've been here, if it wasn't for sports, what would you think the state of OP be?
It would be very sterile and work, a factory workplace where kids check in, check out.
I'm here with Umerjin, a basketball prospect at Orchard Park. What's up, Umerjin?
What's up? How you doing?
Alright, so were you looking forward to playing sports this year and possibly earning a scholarship?
Absolutely. I've worked this hard for many years as a senior of the school. I work in day out for this one moment, and for it to be ended like this, such a simple reason.
Did the
it's
cancellation
really
of sports
heartbreaking.
have any mental effect on you this year?
Absolutely. Didn't really make me want to come to school anymore, because the reason I come to school is because of the motivation I have for basketball. I'm very focused, and without basketball I can't further my education.
So Umerjin, are you planning to come back for another year of high school?
Absolutely. This bill hasn't stopped me from what I'm doing. I want to come back harder and stronger. I want to reach my goal. I'm focused, I'm dedicated, and nothing's going to stop me.
As a student, why do you think we need sports and extracurricular activities at our school?
As a student, I think that we need extracurriculars to help us move forward with life, to help us stay active. For others, such as myself, my future would be in the NBA. I want to work hard, and without sports, I wouldn't be here right now.
Alright, it was nice meeting you, Umerjin.
Thank you.
So I'm here with Marco Volchkic, a grade 12 student at Orchard Park. So what sports were you involved in, Marco?
Man, I was involved in a lot of sports. Believe it or not, me and you were on the same team. Basketball, I was involved with water polo, Miss Lewis. Basketball, water polo, basketball, no, I'm playing football, fudge. No, I didn't play rugby. Soccer.
So what was your initial
That's
reaction
it.
to Bill 150 being put into place?
I was pissed, man. I was pissed. My water polo season was cut. My basketball season was cut. Water polo, we were on route to a gold medal. Miss Lewis. Basketball, we weren't. On route to a gold medal.
So how did the bill being put into place affect you personally and academically, if it did, anyway?
The bill really nailed me. Extracurricular activities were important to me because, you know, after school, it's like a play date in kindergarten, you know. I don't know how to explain it or make an analogy, but it's like, you know, you come after school, you're exhausted, you need a little bit of fun. The sports were the fun.
Yeah.
But now, I turned to stuff like drugs. I became an alcoholic on weekends. My marks are shit, bad. The bill really hit.
It's necessary for Orchard Park to have extracurricular activities?
I think it's huge for our students to have extracurricular activities because, you know, it brings people together. I was a loser back in the day. I still am. But you know what? Being part of clubs and activities, actually I'm not part of any clubs.
It really makes a difference.
But it really makes a difference, absolutely. You read me right out of my mind here.
Spirits?
Yeah, you know, like shout out to like Positive Space. You know, I think that takes balls to run. Student Council, Murray, Mr. Paul. You know, that takes, you know, all the coaching is volunteering. I appreciate the teachers doing that volunteering. So, you know, it really is important. It's like, yeah, it's important. It brings the school together. I love it. I love the hype.
I'm here with Gary Verdi, the HWDSB student trustee of Orchard Park.
Hello there. When Bill 115 was put in place, I honestly thought it was a joke. I'm a grade 12 student at Orchard Park, and I was just wondering, why does this have to happen to me? I had nothing to look forward to from sports to extracurricular activities. It felt like I had nothing to do, and I would definitely say it affected my marks. I had nothing to look forward to again, and it's just the goals, they weren't being set. Like, as a grade 12 student coming to school, extracurricular activities and sports are so important, and that's what a lot of the students look forward to. And I do think that they do better in school when those activities are put in place.
Since you're part of Student Senate, what did you guys do as a team to stop the Bill 150?
Okay, so something what we did was we wrote letters to the MPPs and the mayors in Hamilton. We all worked together. This was a long process. It had to be edited by the board, the different trustees from other schools. It was a long process, but we did get the letters out there, and hopefully it did make a difference in the long
So what did you guys do at school to show that you're passionate about the situation?
Okay, well, as being the student trustee of Orchard Park, I felt like the need for educating the students and what was going on was really important. A lot of students just knew that sports were banned. They didn't know why. They didn't know the background to exactly what was happening with the government. So educating those students was really important and letting them know what's going on. So one of the things that Orchard Park participated in was a school walkout, and many posters were there. A lot of cars were honking, and I do think this made a difference, definitely in our school, but also our local community, because people were wondering what we're doing, and people were interviewed at this walkout.
My name is Jennifer Lavender. I'm an English teacher at Orchard Park, and I am the Positive Space teacher. When I heard about Bill 115, I was concerned because I thought that it would turn into a situation where our Positive Space group would fall apart. In particular, that meant that we weren't able to have our regular organized meetings. Each week we meet in my classroom with the other teacher lead, Mrs. Petz, where everybody can drop in. Anyone who is a member or wants to be a member can jump in at any time. When Bill 115 came around, we were concerned because that meant we couldn't help facilitate and we also didn't have a place for everyone to meet. So in essence, the group stopped until Bill 115 changed and allowed us to resume extracurriculars.
What was the message the Positive Space group was trying to get across?
Well, Positive Space's message has not changed regardless of the extracurriculars. The message is still that any person, regardless of gender or sexual orientation, is able to meet together in a positive and welcoming environment. And that being in school means that you should be safe at all times and have a sense of belonging as well.
How were you trying to get this message across?
It was difficult. So as part of that, we tried to use social media, and our student lead, because there's always a student who's in charge each year and elected president, she started up a Facebook group and communicated with other groups in other schools across our board that way, so that there was still kind of a sense of a community, even though it was more difficult for the students here at school to meet together. So it became more something on social media.
Since you were the leader of the group, did you see any changes throughout OP with the Positive Space?
Absolutely. As soon as extracurriculars were canceled, our enrollment or our membership diminished significantly. At the beginning of the year, we had at least 20 representatives, and then by the end, it came to be about 5 representatives.
As important sports activities are, why do you think we need groups like Positive Space in OP or in any other school?
Positive Space in particular, I'd say it's a group that speaks to a type of person who's not necessarily engaged in other academic groups or other sports groups. Usually the people who choose to be a part of Positive Space tend to be either political activists and people who are really searching to make change in their lives and the lives of others, in particular students here at school, but others who haven't felt that they fit in other groups or seeking a different kind of idea behind what a club is supposed to be.
Last question: what motivated you to create this group?
We're partially motivated by direction that's come from our school board. And our government has stated that each school needs to have a positive space group or some sort of a positive alliance for gays and allies. Those are people who consider themselves not to be homosexual, but who are friends and open to whomever, no matter what your sexual orientation happens to be.
What was your first reaction when Bill 115 was put in place?
I think my first reaction and many people's first reactions were confusion. We weren't sure what it really meant, not only just to teachers, but to administrators, to custodial staff, to my office staff. Just a lot of confusion because it really wasn't sure. It took us a while to figure it all out.
Did you feel any sympathy towards kids who were coming back for sports and some were in their last year for prom and everything else?
Yep, I would say I did, because kids got caught in between and they were kind of, for lack of a better word, innocent victims of the whole political situation. So they didn't ask for any of this, and being a former high school athlete, and I'll say high school athlete, I would have missed sports big time as a kid, so I could sympathize with kids.
Why do you think OP needs extracurriculars?
I think it's not just OP. All kids in high school and elementary school need extracurriculars because the things that teachers do within the classrooms are amazing, but the extras that happen, the things you learn, the lessons you learn on the field, on the courts, on the ice, in clubs and stuff like that, special events are special memories. Like I always say, they're memories that you create that you take with you forever. So I think they're very important to the school culture, to the overall development of kids.
So after all these opinions, we must come to the conclusion that extracurriculars at Orchard Park or any other school are very important for students. As you saw, kids claimed that they turned to drugs after school or stopped coming to school at all, which led to a decline in their marks. And also, the government really needs to think before they do something, as many of the kids' futures were on the line. Now the questions remain: couldn't they have saved money by doing something else instead of cutting the teachers' pay? Were they aware of the consequences of their actions? And lastly but not least, do they actually care about our children's future?